Inside of the 10-minute workday. I got a question from a 10-minute workday customer. Actually, it's a multifaceted question here. And usually I save these for the monthly podcast slash webinar that we do Q&As in. But this is a very interesting question, and I think there's a lot of depth to what he's asking, and there's a lot to be learned from it. And I thought I'd do a little video, just for fun, whatever. So anyway, I'm not going to name him, but I will read his question. I want to apply the 10-minute workday to a social justice oriented political e-newsletter. And I'm also thinking about using it for the dating slash pickup market. I've got 4 questions and would greatly appreciate if you can answer any or all of them. For politics, I'm about to launch a blog and I want to write 1 to 3 original essays per week and send my subscribers daily emails of my articles, plus other relevant and interesting material. Question number 1. I want to charge $1 per month for a full membership, but I'm having trouble figuring out how to structure the free trial period. Is it a good idea to send those who sign up all my material for 2 weeks, and then those who want to continue for free get only half of my material going forward, while those who pay $1 a month get access to everything? Does that make sense, or is there a better way to do this? Okay, so there's a few things here. First of all, unless you're George Soros, I don't know if you're going to make money off social justice warriors. I really don't. I'm not trying to get political or anything. I am a little bit. But the reality is, the social justice, it's not really a market. It's there. But from my understanding, and I could be wrong about this, from my understanding, unless you're like a nonprofit and you're going to you're trying to take Trump down or something, it just, or whatever. I don't know if there's a lot of money in the social justice thing. I'm not saying there isn't. I don't know. I haven't studied enough. I know that there are very rabid people out there. They could potentially be very rabid buyers because they're very emotional and all that. But they also tend to turn on each other a lot too. So I don't know if I'd get into that. You do what you want. I just don't know if I'd get into that market for you. If you find there is a market out there, by all means pursue it. Okay, there's nothing wrong with it. I'm not trying to judge it or anything. I'm just saying from what I've seen, to me, it's a very chaotic market. I don't know. It's up to you. But more important than that, this $1 per month thing. Do you really want a customer who pays you $1 a month? Forget the logistics of it, where the credit card fees. You're not making very much. I mean, are you in this to make money? Or are you in this to trying to solve society's problems? Because it's very, very, very expensive to educate people on these types of things. Just trying to run ads is going to be very hard unless you get all free traffic or whatever. And I'm not saying you couldn't do it. Again, I'm not going to say that this market is my specialty. It's not. But this $1 thing, I just, I don't know. I'm not saying it can't be done. I know there's these people who do that. They do these really cheap continuity programs because it's so cheap. It's more, this is the logic behind it. It's more complicated and more of a pain in the butt to cancel than to just keep going. But $1 a month is a little, I don't know. I just wouldn't do it. All right. I'm not saying you can't do it. I'm not saying it wouldn't work. I've never seen it work. Maybe my exposure to these things is limited. I don't know, but I would stay away from the $1 stuff. At least charge something that you can live off of. Do what you want with that, but that's what I would do. Then he continues that question. I'm not sure what to post and not post to my blog. On the one hand, I want all my essays to be disseminated as widely as possible, and we'll be posting them on numerous online magazines, and if money weren't a consideration, I'd post everything on my blog immediately. But I have to withhold content and give my readers a reason to subscribe to the newsletter. It seems you have a similar situation with your daily emails and blog. Some other things to think about. People don't like to pay for philosophy. They don't. It's very hard to sell philosophy, your articles and all that. They want things that are going to solve their problems. So I don't know what problem you're going to solve for these people. I really don't. I mean, maybe there are. I don't know the market, but get in there and figure out what they're already buying. What are they buying? What are people in the social justice oriented world? What are they buying? I don't know. I mean, maybe you know. What are they buying? Are they buying this? I mean, you could have a news site where you put news out. That's fine. I'm not saying you can't do it. But think about this. I mean, this is, you got to be able to eat. You know what I mean? And $1 a month for all this, I don't know. in my opinion, you'd be better off just doing a free blog or something and charging for advertising on it and seeing what happens. But that's not really a 10-minute workday thing. I'm just saying, like, there's other ways to monetize this. There are rabid people in that market, but maybe this sort of thing, I don't know if they're going to want to pay for it or not. Maybe they will. What I do personally is I take my daily email and I put it on my blog. I put the exact same content that's in my daily email on my blog. Unless I'm reusing an email from like a year earlier, I don't bother putting it back on my blog. Now, why do I do this when all the bloggers are like, oh, they got to be 800 words long or Google won't? You know what? I don't write for SEO. Now, if you want to write for SEO and you want to sit there and play that game, it's always changing and it's already rigged against you, be my guest. I'm not saying you can't do it. I just personally don't write for SEO. The whole purpose of a website, okay? And this is where I differ from a lot of other people out there. They just don't understand what I'm about to say because they're not direct response purists. I am. And I'm talking some old school guys who should know better have fought me on this. And I'm telling you, they're all wrong. The only purpose of a website for what we're doing with 10-Minute Workday especially is to build a list. It's not anything else. It's not to brand yourself. It's not to show how great you are and smart you are. It's not to demonstrate your knowledge. It's not to show, get people to trust you and all that. Your website should do those things, but that's not the purpose of the website. The purpose of the website is to build a list. It's not to get people liking your post so it shows up on Facebook or whatever, all this horse nonsense. It's to build a list, all right? So build a list. By all means, just take your daily emails and put it on the blog. So people say, well, then people won't read the email. Yes, they will, because people are lazy and they're not going to remember to go to your site and they want it delivered to them. Daily emails, people love getting daily emails. That's why RSS feeds have just went the way of the horse and buggy. Like the browsers don't even have it anymore because nobody uses it. I mean, technically, you'd think people would want that because they can control the content, but it doesn't work that way. They want it delivered. People want pizza delivered to them. They don't like doing takeout. They just don't. Some people do, but by and large, okay. So that's the purpose of a website. So with that in mind, with that principle in mind, and this is the way I do. You can do whatever you want. I'm not telling people they have to do this. I'm saying you want to learn my way. You're asking me these questions. This is how I do it. Put your daily emails up there. It doesn't matter if like Google's, all that. Google will like you just because you're consistently putting content up there. Are you going to get the great SEO and all? I don't know. I don't care. Because if you're doing traffic the right way, whether you're paying for it or doing it the way I talk about in 10-Minute Workday, you're going to get traffic regardless with the SEO. SEO is just a nice thing, but you can't control it. You can't scale free, as my friend Ray Higdon says. Like, he gets on his people all the time. He's in the MLM niche. He tells it all the time that quit relying on SEO. You can't scale it. You can't control it. Use it. By all means, you might as well use it. Don't let it, I'm not saying don't care about it. Don't write for it. Don't sit there and like stuff your posts with keywords. Just put your content up there. Make sure that there's a very easy way to subscribe to your email list so that you can start selling them something and not some $1 thing, but like a real product. So that's my thing on that. Question number 2, how do you decide what and when to post on the blog and reserve only for emails and newsletters? Perhaps I can apply your approach to my newsletter. I pretty much just said, I just take the daily emails and I put it on there. All right? I mean, that's it. That's only that. Maybe once in a while I'll do something else, but that's it. And quite frankly, when people come to my site and they sign up, I don't care if they ever come back to my website after that, ever again. In fact, all my links that go to emailplayers.com, which is the only ones I really have on there, it actually shunts them to an opt-in form and says, look, before you try to buy this, make sure you download the free issue by joining my list. I want them on my list. I don't want like some hyper sale. I want them on my list and liking me and knowing me before they buy and making an informed decision. I'm not one of these people who has a scarcity mindset. Oh, I need them to just buy. Oh, great, I got them. Even if they don't need it or want it. Like, I don't want that. I want people who think. Now, I know this goes against a lot of other things, but that's all right. That's what 10-Minute Workday does. We go against the grain at 10-Minute Workday. If you want to know it works, this worked for me, okay? If it was easy, everybody would be doing it, but it is simple. And this is as simple as it gets. The whole point of your website is to build a list, so think about that. Okay. Last, with dating, I want to sell my book and coaching. All right, so I want to just interject something else, okay? You want to sell to social justice people and you want to sell to the dating niche. Now, I can tell you The dating niche, it does not want to hear your social justice stuff. So if you're going to impose politics into the dating niche, and I'm not saying you're going to, this is just for the benefit of everybody watching, you may run into some resistance when you're coming to some like, the best people in the dating niche I've ever sold to are people over 35. They make good money, right? We're not talking about these 18-year-olds who just want, oh, I want to get laid. Like, these are people who are like, they've got money. They want a good woman, and they're always getting rejected, and they don't understand why when they have money and success and all this, and yet girls ignore them for these douche nozzles or whatever, douche canoes that just treat them like crap, and they're frustrated by it. These are the people with money. They're the ones that are buying this stuff. I'm not saying the other stuff doesn't work. I'm just saying in my experience, it's what happens. Is who you want to go for. If you want to go for millennials, go ahead. Okay, but I'm fine telling you right now, Gen X and older, they're better buyers overall from what I've seen. And so if you start trying to go social justice war on them, and I'm not saying you're going to, I'm just warning you because I see two completely contrasting things you're doing here. And you can't serve two masters. So you're better off picking one of these and just going after one. My money would be on the dating niche if I were you. So what I say after this, I would pay more attention to. So I wanted to sell my book and coaching. Given your experience with this market, can you tell me what other continuation products I can sell? I'm actually in this boat myself. Like, I'm in the dating market. I have an upfront thing under a pen name. It does really well. The ebook sells really well. It breaks even on the paid advertising, which is great. Like, that's what you want in direct response marketing. Like, you don't not technically make a profit on the front end. If you do, you want to take that money and put it into more paid traffic online. If you're offline, you want to take that money and put it into more lists and mail more stuff out. But in this case, continuity, like, here's some things I'm thinking about. Now you could interview some dating experts, like an interview of the month. I don't know if that'll work as well anymore because there's so much free stuff out there, and a lot of these names and everything have already been like the dating market people don't know jack about marketing them. They really don't. That's why it's a great market to be in. Like, the true gurus out there, they put everything they know on YouTube and free blogs on it, and they're giving stuff away for free. There are a few smart ones out there, but for the most part, the ones I've seen are just like, they don't know what they're doing. So you could upsell coaching with you, which would be great. Like, you mentioned coaching here. I think that's a great thing to upsell. I really do. It would have to be like a group coaching that they pay for you every month or whatever. Now, that's manual labor. It's not going to be easily scalable unless you do group coaching. If you do one-on-one coaching, it's going to be harder to make that work 10-minute workday style. But if you got them in a group coaching every month, a group webinar, kind of like we do with our monthly webinars and the secret pod. Well, I call it more of a podcast than a webinar now. The monthly Q&A we do with 10-minute workday. Technically, we could charge for that, right? We could technically charge for that as a continuity. I think people would pay for it, but we could do. But that would be an example. You could sell testosterone supplements because a lot of people who are having trouble with girls are actually very low on testosterone. They don't even know it. It'd be very easy to write daily emails just saying, it'd almost be the exact same emails you would send to the front end, except you'd be selling testosterone. Here's how to make yourself automatically more attractive just by not, being an estrogen factory to girls, we're turned off by that. So that's another thing you could do. But, you could do a print newsletter. You could do a PDF newsletter. You could do a YouTube channel where you just kind of talk and answer questions and teach stuff. And this is the simplest thing I can even think of. Just do that, a YouTube thing, where you just do a video. And it could just be audio and you just have like some image on there. It doesn't even have to be like you talking like I'm doing right now. And where you're just giving really good advice and helping people out. And they pay for that every month. And when you have new content, you send the list a link to a secret, a private YouTube link that only they get. It's not going to be like listed in YouTube. You have it marked as private. So that's another way to do it, or at least unlisted. And fourth question, and do you have any advice on how to price my coaching, or do you know any good resources for learning more about that? That is all dependent on the market, what they're willing to pay, how much value you're giving them. Again, if you're going to go after the millennials, good luck with that, because a lot of them don't have money. A lot of them are living at home in mom's basement. But if you go after the Gen X and baby boomers, divorced people especially, who have money in a lot of cases, you could probably charge a lot more. I can't give you specifics because I've never actually done that. But look around what other people in the dating market are charging for their coaching. That'll give you a ballpark of what people are willing to pay. Now, you could go lower and higher than that. I'm not saying you have to do their exact price, and I don't think you should. But that'll give you an idea of what people are willing to pay. So anyway, I appreciate the questions. I thought they were great questions actually, and hopefully the answers have helped everybody, regardless of what niche or market they want to be in. And we'll see you on the next monthly call. If you have any other questions, submit them to AWAI, and we'll get to them, and it'll all be good. Thank you.